Aloha and good afternoon on a wet and rather windy late English afternoon in winter. Lots of W's in that. I wanted today to talk about the tension that I often see between decision making based on judgment as opposed to decision making based on intuition. I coach women, and a lot of the women I coach is around harnessing their inner sorceress. The sorceress archetypically is very much in touch with her, or his, if it's a sorcerer, very much in touch with their intuition, in touch with the the beyond, something bigger than this mundane everyday world that we operate in. The sorcerer or sorceress is able to connect with nature, see signs, whether they're in nature or not in nature, but see the signs, see the patterns, and intuit from the signs, from the patterns, what may or may not happen, what's a good decision to make, what's going to be a bad decision to make. And the sorceress energy or the sorcerer energy is also great for visioning. So rather than sitting where you are now and planning forward in a smart kind of a way, if you're in a management world, going out into the future, harnessing that energy, pulling that energy of sorcerer, sorceress, that ability to know the future, and creating the vision from that space, and then kind of moving backwards to do your planning. So that energy is very powerful, but in a lot of quarters, it's very dismissed. And I wanted to talk about this tension that there is between judgment and intuition. Some of it, in my opinion, and all I have is my opinion, I think some of this comes from the sense that intuition is perceived as a feminine quality. And over the years, the feminine has often not been particularly appreciated. When I was thinking about what I was going to say in this talk, I was thinking about sorceress, sorcerer. Who are the role models? Who, when we say sorceress or sorcerer, who do we think of? And most of the role models are men. They're Gandalf, they are Merlin, they are Dumbledore, they're Harry Potter. Okay, Hermione Granger's better at spells than all her male colleagues, but they tend to be male because over the years that intuitive, that healing, that knowingness associated with women, we've been labelled as witches when we've had those qualities, and as witches we have been persecuted mercilessly. So I think there is a way that intuition is viewed that is that in some way it's feminine, and because it's feminine or to do with the feminine, then it's not quite right, or it's not going to work. Judgment, on the other hand, judgment is based on rationality, it's based on evidence, it's based on thinking very consciously about what has been done in the past and how that might predict the future, or how the markets are going to move, or whatever it happens to be. But it's a much more conscious, rational way of thinking about things. Whereas intuition, you're not doing it consciously. You're not doing it in a linear way. It's much more non-linear. Another thing that I find interesting about this whole thing is that when the Hawaiians, the ancient Hawaiians, when they talk about intelligence, they don't mean the intelligence of the left brain, the masculine intelligence, the intelligence of the left brain, the intelligence that fundamentally is said to underpin good judgment. For the Hawaiians, an intelligent person, the intelligent people, are the ones who trust their intuition, who trust their gut, who trust that inner knowingness, and they operate on the basis of what the gut and the inner knowingness is telling them. If you operate on principles of judgment, it tends to dictate a rather different way of living your life than if you're really putting your intuition first. Judgment tends to be much more, it's planning, it's next steps, it's goal setting. It's right, I'm going to lay out this year. What am I going to do this year? in order to make my business success or have a successful career. And it's going to be step A, B, C. And then because I've done A, B, and C, I can do D, E, and F, and so on and so forth. The intuitive path, what am I going to do this year? It has that much more fluid feel. It's a bit less boundaried in some ways. And for some people, it's downright scary because theoretically, at least, if we've evaluated all the possibilities and we've brought to bear all the evidence, then we increase the probability that whatever it is we're judging, the decision that we're going to take based on judgment, will be the correct decision. Whereas if I just trust and tune into source and that inner knowingness in my gut, then surely I'm reducing the probability, the likelihood that my decision will be a good one. But actually, when you stack the two up side by side, where is the difference? We can't prove the future in advance of it happening. Sure, we can have economic models and we can do all that stuff. But actually, strong, powerful intuition is just as valuable. And there are men who use strong, powerful intuition. Warren Buffett, case in point, and the guy who created Walmart. He used to do this to find the ideal Walmart site. He'd go and travel around, fly over a place, and let his gut tell him where to site his new store. So it's not just women who have that access. There are very successful men doing it as well, but it tends to be dismissed, put aside, not talked about. So I'm curious to know how you view judgment and intuition, how the two of them work for you. And if you are in that rational left brain space and you do struggle with opening up to your intuition, then why not give it a go? Because actually in the world there's a very clear place for both. It's not either or. There really is a clear place for both. So how can we bring the intuitive, the knowing, the depth of knowingness into our decisions? If you want to talk more, then do book a call. secretartofhuna.com/diary will find me. And I look forward to talking to you on a call or seeing you in the Facebook group very soon. Take care now.